Good morning, traders. It's 4:16 a.m. It's Wednesday. This is a live trade recap. Took one trade in the pre-market on UTSI, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's a green trade, but it's not a good trade. Let's talk about why. Just to show you here, the pre-market top gainers list was on there, or I think I got it from my laptop. So, all right. So UTSI, so didn't look really nice here at the beginning of the pre-market. This isn't accurate. For whatever reason, when the pre-market opens, the charts get a little bit funky. But I did fix them in a second here. But, I was contemplating different entries even at this point, like, oh, what if it breaks the high of this candle? But this just doesn't look like anything, so I just waited for a little bit. This red line is where I stopped out, I think, yesterday in the aftermarket, after getting in, like, way down here. I'm checking the range of candles, seeing if there's any entries. The main thing is that, you have a stop that you feel comfortable with. Otherwise, you're definitely not going to be able to hold till 2R, which is 2 times the risk or 2 times the amount of your stop loss. Fast forward a little bit. Also, what I did there was I switched the time frame and then went back to 1 minute, and that fixes the chart. Hitting refresh doesn't fix it. So now this makes a little bit more sense, because before, when the chart was messed up, I thought that was the first 1 minute candle of the 4 a.m. pre-market, but that's actually the candle from yesterday. So it's actually a little bit of an ascending pattern here, but I mean, it's really not very well defined. So but look, these candles, these topping tails make it look like there's a decent amount of selling pressure. So I wasn't like too super excited about this pattern. But I did like, I was just checking to see if there's other stuff. There wasn't. Now you can see it's the number one volume being traded, even more than GLSI here in the pre-market by quite a lot, by about 5 times. So that's always a good sign. But it did run up a lot in the aftermarket yesterday, so it's a little scary getting into these. So I was just marking out the bottom of the pre-market there. Now I'm thinking, if this candle breaks the high of this candle, I might get in, because this has like a nice tight range. So that would give me a nice tight stop loss. So basically I need to see 251 to get in, and then you see I'm over this candle right now. The high is 249, the low is 242. That's a 7-cent range, and so that would be my stop loss, and my 2R would be 14 cents higher than my ideal entry. That's what I use. So 250 plus 14 is 264. I think I'm about to get in here. There we go. Yeah, I think, I wanted to see, 250. So I got in, I got filled a little bit high, but not too bad, 2 cents of slippage. And I get my 2R order ready, but I think I even weekend the order, because, there's no excuse for this stuff. I have a plan, I need to stick to it. But there's a couple things going on here that influenced me which this think these trades out. I just need to trade my plan. That's my job, and my plan says to hold till 2R 90%, and then I can do whatever I want with the rest of it. Sell it up when it hits my entry or ride it up higher. That's my plan, and that's what I'm supposed to do, no matter what. So this is already bad. I'm supposed to be putting 264 in there, and this wasn't a mistake. Like, I knew exactly what I was doing. And part of the reason why, so there's two things going on. I was scared because it topped out at 262. There's topping tails. And then also, if you watched my pre-market trade video yesterday, I made a really big mistake. I got in on the second candle, and it opened above the first candle, so I didn't really have a stop. And then a little bit later, it did come down below my entry, so I could have had a stop at the bottom of that candle, but I didn't. I had a much larger stop, and I took a big hit in that trade. And then I had to take a trade that I sat in for like 2 hours afterwards, just trying to make it back, and I made about 65% of it back. So all that stuff was in my head, making me weak hand this. But again, those are not valid reasons. They're not valid excuses. It gets even worse, actually, because it's one thing if I would have sold the 90% at the 261. At least it's only 3 cents shy of my 90%, or sorry, my 2R. But when this thing doesn't move, I get scared. Luckily, it popped up at 258 because I was about to sell. I was about to sell half at like 255 where it was. And so I sold half at 257. That's 7 cents below my 2R. Then goes to 262, and I sell half again. I get filled at 261, which is where my original order to sell 90 was. But it shouldn't have even been there. It should have been at 264. There's 264 right there. I would have got it, no problem. And it didn't even take long. And then I would have been holding 10% of my shares. So either probably, I don't know how we would have broken that up. Either 1 or 2 shares would have been all that was left. And my plan after selling 90% at 2R is to sell the rest once it comes down to my entry. Just because, I'm kind of working on that, either that or hold it to my stop. But knowing me, I probably would have sold when it touched the entry, and it did touch it twice. But you can argue that is a really, really bad habit to get into because my stop loss is way down here, and it has never gotten anywhere near the stop loss. And let's see what happened with this thing. So I made 69 cents off of that, and with the 2R, so there's my profit. Notice this is in yellow because I didn't hold it to 2R, but it did go to 2R, and if I would have held it to 2R instead of 69 cents, I would have made $2.10. That's huge. And you might say green is green, but that is the dumbest thing that we could ever say to ourselves, because what happens now on the next trade? What if it stops me out at 1R? I'm going to be in the red for the day. But if I would have held this thing till 2R, and even if the next trade fails at 1R, I would still be in the green. Even if the trade after that failed, I would be break even or maybe in the green a little bit. But because I couldn't hold till 2R here, that's out the window. So that's the problem with taking profits early. And my ROI would have been about 5.5% if I would have held to 2R instead. I got a measly 1.8%. So those are the things. That's the stuff that's going to make the difference. Again, to remind you, last week, though I took a lot of bad trades, like bad entries and risky trades, and trades failed, if I would have held to 2R, I would have been in the green. Instead, I'm in the red. And then this week, if I would have held everything till 2R, I would be in the green almost $15, and I'm only in the green about $6 and change. So that's why you got to stick to your plan and trade your plan. My excuse, although there's no excuses, is because of what happened yesterday. I mean, I shouldn't say that's the excuse. That's the reason why I was having trouble holding. But you see, this thing went. So my 2R was 264, which it did that easily. We saw that. It went up to 264 here. Since that was the very high, it's debatable whether I would have gotten filled there, and that would have been tough to see it hit my 2R and then come back down. But again, my plan says that I have to hold until either I get filled at 2R or it stops me out. So I still would have been in the trade, and it would have definitely been filled in this candle. Now, the other cool thing that could have happened was, I guess it wouldn't have really worked out that well, but it did go higher. So the 10% shares I could have sold, it could have done whatever I wanted to, because at that point I'm in the green. Worst case scenario is I would have sold when the bottom of this candle was broken. So it still would have added to my 2R trade. So when am I going to learn? That's all I got to say. So, I mean, at least I'm getting better. Like almost every single trade yesterday, I sold it at 2R or 1.9R, very close. And that's reflected in the difference here. You see the daily P&L is $3.11. If I would have held exactly to 2R, it's $3.30. So that's really close. That's much better than what I've been doing. You look at the differences here. Look at that. I mean, that's huge. So at least, I'm starting to get better at it, but I just need to stick to it 100% no matter what, because I know it works. I mean, I've already done I checked it last month and it was working out pretty well, but this month I've already done looks like about 30 something trades, and the 2R is kicking my butt. It's so much better than what I'm doing myself, managing my trades. So I just need to commit to it, and that's it. Even if I'm gonna suffer some 1R losses once in a while, but that's part of the deal. On average, I'm gonna be in the green much more than I am by managing my trades. So, all right, guys, I'll see you later at the open. I don't think I'm going to take any more trades on the pre-market, even though I'm allowed to do one more, since I'm already kind of weak-handing this stuff. I just better off to start fresh with a strong pattern at the open. I'll see you then.